All right, guys, we are back. So let me know what's going on, guys. If you can see me, you can hear me, and all that good stuff, just let me know in the chat. And I had to switch the computers out. That computer is going in the trash. It's not. It's not of any use to me anymore. Unfortunately, it just does not. It Yeah. And I'm glad I started early because it gave me an opportunity to kind of test some things out. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, but it is not going to. It's not going to work. So things happen. So yeah, guys, just let me know you're here. Just give me a I'm back. Thank you for coming back. Those of you who do, and then also hit that like button so we can promote this out to some more people. So they know that we went back. We went back up. It should be the same link, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same link, so there shouldn't be any changes when it comes to that. Just the fact that yeah, I just lost everything. I don't know, man. I'm almost to a point now where it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna start shooting this on my phone and have it do what it does. Um, yeah, because I do put a lot into trying to get these things going, and it's so frustrating when you have these little hiccups and things. So yeah. So guys, let me know you're here, and I think my chat right now is a little delayed, so I'm not getting everything that comes out as soon as it does come out. So yeah, just let me know you're here. Thumbs up, give the video a like, and then also, um, what was I gonna say? Oh, I just lost their train of thought. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna pick up from where I left off. So today we're gonna be talking about Colombia. We're gonna be talking about how I booked my trip to Colombia. So um, it was for $85 is what I paid out of pocket. So that should be pretty good. A pretty good discussion to have so you guys learn how I did that using points. And then I was just in the middle of talking about places to go in Colombia. So I'm going to go ahead and start from there, talk about the different places to go in Colombia. And then we'll get into the how I booked using points. Okay. So as far as Colombia, the time periods to go, the best time periods to go, I, I go anytime. Like anytime I feel like the need to want to go to Colombia, then I'll just go. I don't really think about because they don't have. It's not like on the East Coast where you have days where you can't do anything because it's snowing all day. It's not like that in Colombia. You're going to have rainy season, and rainy season is in April time, and then in October. So around that time, you are going to have there's going to be rain, but rain doesn't shut the city down at all. You still have people doing stuff. You'll still have people going out to clubs and restaurants and all the activities. And there's certain areas where rainy season doesn't really impact them too much, like in Cartagena, the coastal cities it doesn't really affect them that much. But like Medellin, Bogota, you're going to have rainy season, and it will rain. In some situations, it might rain the whole day, but it's kind of off and on, off and on. It's not like usually not just a downpour. The last time when I was out there, I was out in Bogota in October, and it did rain. It rained a couple of days when I was in Bogota, and then it rained a couple of days when I was in Medellin. But it wasn't the whole day. I still had time where I could get out and do things, so that was good. So just be aware of that. All right, guys. I'm going to do shout outs again. So if you guys are in here, just let me know. Just give me some type of indicator so we can give you a proper shout out. And then if you guys have questions, just put at TEC and go ahead and ask your question. And so the other thing I wanted to talk about too that I was talking about in the other stream was as far as um, the as far as family, like where to go with your family. If you wanted to bring your family to Colombia, what places would you recommend? And I would recommend Cartagena. I think Cartagena is a good city to go with family because there's so many different activities you can get involved in. You're right on the coast, so you have the beaches, so you can go hang out at the beach. You also can go on excursions where they'll take you to some of the islands that are near Cartagena, which is really nice because it's a getaway. You can go to the island, nice beaches, clear blue water or clear water, clear blue, clear water, and so you can really enjoy yourself there. And it's a whole day activity. It's targeted for families, so it's good. You can also go to the walled city. There's a lot of history there. You can see that. They have a couple of forts, or at least one fort where you can go and explore the fort. like a big fortress. It's really nice. It's a good experience there. So there's so many things you can do in Cartagena for families. Now, Medellin is more of a nightlife city. So if you like the clubs and stuff like that, then that's where you want to go. As far as Bogota, I think Bogota also has a lot of places for families because you can go to the museums they have there. It's the capital, so you have the government buildings, so you can get that whole experience. But I think Bogota is kind of a mix of two. You do have a lot of nightlife, but then you have the sights to see. You can go up to the top of the hill and look off into the city of Bogota. So they have a lot of different activities for families as well. So those are my picks when it comes down to places to go for if you have a family, if you want to travel to Colombia. Okay, let's see. Ronald, what's going on? Thank you for coming back. Thank you for stopping by. John, what's going on, buddy? Bruce Law, what's up, Bruce? Fern, how you doing? Amadou, thank you for coming back, Amadou. Looks like you're cutting off. Life is cutting off. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's. I don't know what's. Oh god, this is so frustrating. You could not believe. Let me know if it keeps doing that. This last time it just shut everything down. So maybe I'm gonna have to try to figure out a different way to do this. But right now this is what we have. Okay, let's see. Chris, what's going on, Chris? And let's see, got a multi-city ticket, Miami, Cartagena, Medellin, Miami, $399. No points used. Good. That's a real good deal, man. That's a real good deal. Yeah, you got a good deal there. Let's see. See, how are you, sir? I'm doing well, Ronald. I'm doing well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Ronald. Yeah, so hopefully we can get people back in. And I don't know if there's any issues right now. I'm able to see everything, so it looks like everything is working properly. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about. Um, let's talk about how I book my flight. So usually, and before I even talk about the flight, let's just talk about my where I stay because I usually will do Airbnbs. That's where I'll stay when I'm in Colombia. On occasion, I'll stay in the hotels. The last trip I took when I was in Bogota, I did stay at the Grand Hyatt, which was an amazing hotel. I was paying $100 a night, which for us, $100 a night is really not that much in my opinion. But the hotel was just over the top. It was the nicest hotel I've ever been in or ever stayed in, as far as customer service and just, I mean, it was an amazing experience. So I highly recommend if you're going to Bogota and you can afford to pay the $100 a night, do it, do it because it's well worth it. I did not eat at any of the restaurants there though, so that I can't really speak on that. Usually we were out and about all day and we would go to different places to eat. So I can't really speak on the restaurants, but I can speak on as far as the customer service, the hotel, the rooms, the view. I had club access, so I was able to go to the lounge upstairs and have not like a full on meal, but you could have breakfast and stuff like that. They had full on breakfast, but as far as like happy hour stuff, they had some snacks and stuff like that. So yeah, really good experience. Um, but generally, I will stay at Airbnb. That's kind of the my my fallback. I'll stay at Airbnbs when I travel to Colombia. Now, as far as is the points that I use 70,000 points to book my trip to Colombia. And this is the third time that I've used. Is this the third time? I think this is the third time I've used points to travel to Colombia. The first time was last year for Carnival, and I believed I used about the same amount, around 70,000 points. And now the 70,000 points, this is business class. It's not economy. If you want to fly economy, it's 40,000. So you can find tickets for 40,000 round trip to Colombia economy. I like to fly business class just because it's affordable. 70,000 is not a lot of points in my opinion. And some of the flights, depending on when you're going, some of the flight you can get on some some nice planes to fly, because anytime I'm looking at business class or first class, I want to make sure I get a good experience. I don't want to just do the regular business class where it's just an extra, a seat that's just a little larger. I want to get the lie flat seats and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm looking for, at least on one of the legs. If I can get it on one of the legs, I'm happy. And when I fly to Colombia, usually one of the legs I'll get a nice plane, and I always do my research, so I'm always looking when I'm going through, and I fly with you, usually book through United and fly on Avianca, but I will always look at the planes. So I want to know, is it an A330? Is it a Dreamliner? I want to know what plane it is. And so before I even book my flight, and this is really important if you're into stuff like this, if you're booking, you want to fly business class, first class, you want to get a really good experience. When I'm looking at those flights, because you might have 2, 3, 4 flights that are leaving around the same time and arriving around the same time. And some of them are flying they're flying you're doing a layover somewhere. So you'll do that layover and then you'll catch a plane to fly to Colombia. Like usually I'll go to Panama first, and then from Panama, then I'll fly to Colombia, or I'll go to El Salvador, which the last couple of times I've gone to El Salvador, and then I have a layover in El Salvador, and then I fly to Colombia. So that flight to El Salvador is the long flight. And then once you get to El Salvador, then you fly to Colombia. Usually it's 2, maybe 3 hours at most. But that long flight, you want to look at that plane and see what plane that is. And if you can, because you might have different planes that are flying into El Salvador and then catching that same flight from El Salvador to Colombia. So just something to really consider when you're looking at booking your flights. Look at those planes. Go to seatguru.com. Get on seatguru.com. All you need to do is type in the flight number, and the airline, and the date that you're flying out, and they will show you the exact plane that you're going to be flying on. And people, it's kind of like Yelp because people will take pictures of the plane, inside the plane, the food, all that stuff, and they'll put it on Seat Guru. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of get a feel for the plane, to see if the plane's newer, older, see what their business class amenities look like. Or is it a lie flat seat? Is it a recliner? Is there a different experience flying on this airline compared to another airline? Do the what seats are the best seats to sit on the plane? And that's another thing that's really important, especially for me. When I fly, I want to fly on the best seats. I don't want to fly, if I'm paying the same amount or I'm using the same amount of points, I want to fly on a seat that's recommended, not a seat that is right next to the restroom where I'm constantly going to be hearing people going in and out of the restroom, or right next to the galley where you're going to have people going in, a lot of foot traffic around there. So those are things that you want to think about. And when I booked this flight, I looked at that. I had it on my old computer, but I didn't pull it up on here. So the planes I'm flying on, I believe I am flying on an A330 on the way back, which will be a nice experience, business class. But I wasn't able to get like a larger plane to fly up. I'm flying on I think it's a A320 or A321. I think it's A321 for the majority, and that's regular business class. But I couldn't avoid it, and because of the event, because of Carnival, I just wanted to get there. I mean, it was I it was very slim pickings when I started to book a flight, and I booked it in early December. So very slim pickings. Like I didn't have very many choices. I actually had to book it so I'm staying a day, one extra day, just because I couldn't book it on the day that I wanted to fly out. So I had to book it a day early, which happens. That does happen. So that's just kind of the nature of travel, right? So I went ahead and did that, and I spent $85 cash, 70,000 points, round trip, business class, and some other stuff you might not know if you've never flown business class before. Let's say maybe you're just starting out using points. When business class comes with lounge access, and usually they'll give you like a Star Alliance lounge, or in this case, I'm flying on United, or I shouldn't say that. I'm flying with the Star Alliance partners. So I booked, and this is something that's important to know too. So I go to United's website, right? I'm not flying on United, but I'm flying with their partners, and one of their partners is Avianca. So I go to their website and I just put in the information where I want to go, destination, all that, and then they'll show me the flights that are available. And when I fly to Colombia, it's always Avianca or Copa. Those are the two. So when you're flying business class, you get the business class lounge. And so when I go to LAX, which I fly out of LAX, I'll go to LAX and I'll have the Star Alliance lounge, which is a very, very nice lounge. These aren't priority pass lounges. These are they'll have a full on meal there, free alcohol, just a real nice setup that they have, the Star Alliance lounge, and it's at the Tom Bradley terminal, which is a new terminal, and they've done a good job at. I mean, the old LAX terminals, yeah, they're not very nice, but you go to the international terminal, and it's pretty nice. They have a little mall in there. They have some really nice places to eat. They have PF Chang's. Unfortunately, I use Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I used to be able to get a restaurant credit there. They've no longer PF Chang's no longer accepts a restaurant credit. So this is going to be my first. The last trip that I took, they were they were doing away with it like a couple of weeks after I actually was it that trip, or was it in, I can't remember when it was. It was one of my trips. I remember going and using the restaurant credit. Yeah, it was my last trip. So I went and used the restaurant credit. I actually got the food to go. I didn't even eat there. And then I found out like the next day that they were going to be closing it off for Priority Pass. And it was interesting too because when I went that last time, everybody, like I would say, God, I don't want to say 50%, but there was a large number of people using Priority Pass, and most of us were sitting at the bar because what they were doing at PF Chang's is they weren't letting you do takeout. That just they didn't allow you to do that if you were using Priority Pass. So they said, you know what, just go sit at the bar, order your food, and then just ask them to bring out a box for you. And so that's what I did. And I wasn't the only one. There's a lot of people that were sitting there. Pretty much everyone sitting at the bar, they were doing Priority Pass. So I don't know if they're losing money because I don't know how that all works as far as the agreement between Priority Pass and PF Chang's. But for whatever reason, the PF Chang's is not on board with it anymore. So uh, I won't be able to use that. But I'll be able to go to the Star Alliance Lounge and hang out there. And they do have another restaurant too at LAX. I don't know how far it is. I believe it's not in the international terminal. It's in one of the other terminals, which you can access most if not all of the terminals from the international terminal, but it is a long walk. Like it could be 20-25 minute walk to get to whatever terminal that is, where they have the other restaurant. I might do it depending on how early I get to the airport. And I've changed the whole way I do things now. I used to want to get to the airport right before my flight, just enough time to kind of get there, go into a gift shop, grab a snack, and get on the plane. But now now I get there a lot earlier. I get there maybe 3 hours, 4 hours before my flight, just because I know I can go to a lounge and I can relax at the lounge, and I don't have to. I'm not rushed. I don't like to be rushed, but in the past, I just did it because I didn't want to sit at the airport for hours on end. So that's why I did it. But now it's a little different. I can really justify that. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's see, guys. I don't see anyone in the chat right now. So if you guys are still here, you can still hear me, you can still see me. Let me know. Let me know. If you have questions, go ahead and put them out there. Really, really needing to. I'm probably just gonna go back. I mean, you guys know, or most of you know, that I do have a different set here. So I do have my other set that's set up for live streams as well, and I'll probably go back to that one because this is not for my videos. This will work, but for my live streams, for whatever reason, I'm having some different issues, and I don't want to have to deal with this every time I come on. Nor do I want you guys to have to suffer through uh, live streams going in and out and all that stuff. So I will probably I'll probably stop doing it here and go into my regular place where I have another computer that obviously is better than these two when it comes to pulling up live streams. Okay, let's see. I've had great luck getting business class upgrades once I'm at the airport. Far less expensive than upgrading versus booking it that way. Yes, that is true, Jimmy. That's a good point. I don't have any stats with airlines right now. I haven't really committed to one specific airline, so I don't have status. The only status I've ever had was with JetBlue. I did a promotion that they put out there to get Mosaic status, and I was able to get the Mosaic status for the year, and it was good. However, they don't upgrade you to their Mint class, so they don't upgrade you to their business class, unfortunately. So I never got to get that experience. But you do get priority boarding, which I liked, and you get free alcohol, which I'm not a big drinker, so I didn't really benefit from that. But that is something that you get as well. So I like flying JetBlue though. Just even in another thing too, actually one of the biggest perks with the Mosaic is the fact that you can use points to get the even more seats. So you get the seats that have a little more space, a little more leg room, which I really, really think is a must. Anytime I find JetBlue, I'm always getting it. I kind of like the way they set it up too, because you pay for your flight, and then right before your trip, like let's say the 24 hours when you get your e-ticket and all that, then they will promote it more. They'll promote it again. Say, hey, do you want to get an even more seat? Usually, that's when I'll get the seat because I want to see how many seats are available. So I want to I'll book my regular seat. Yeah, I won't book the even more right off the bat. I'll book the regular seat, and then right before that time, I'm looking at the different seats to see if there's a row of three. If there's a row of three, I usually will book that one where there's a row of three. I'll take the window, and usually there's no one sitting in that middle seat because they would have already booked it, or like usually the way it's been working out for me is there's no one in that middle seat. There's someone that'll sit in the aisle. So I have a little bit more. We have a little bit more room, so that usually works out. But JetBlue, I do recommend JetBlue, and I think they're a great airline. But other than JetBlue's Mosaic status, haven't had any other experience with elite status with airlines. Okay. Ronald saying, really trying to travel soon. Setting is awesome. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, you gotta get out there. Just get out there and travel. I mean, I'm so happy that this all started probably about actually it's been 4 years now. It started 4 years ago where I just told myself I want to travel. Like I'd only at that time I had gone to Colombia, believe it or not. I went to Colombia, and I went to Colombia back in 2009 with a couple of buddies and had a really good time. And I always wanted to go back, but the problem is nobody would want to go back with me because I don't know, they have this this thought of Colombia. And so my friends didn't want to go back with me, but there was actually one friend he was open to it. And so he went with me. That was probably about 4 years ago. He went with me. I didn't use points or anything, but I went with him, and he liked it, so he wanted to go back. So we went back again, and then we ended up going to some other places, Costa Rica, Thailand, and stuff like that. But I always wanted to get back to going to Colombia, but I didn't have any friends or anything that wanted to go. After he went, he liked it, but he was like kind of over it. He wanted to go other places, and I get it. I totally understand that. But I didn't have any other friends that were interested in going to Colombia, and so then I joined This Is Ace Live's WhatsApp group. So if you guys don't know, This Is Ace Live. He's got a channel, and he started in Colombia. That was his first traveling trip. He went to Colombia, and he started putting videos out about Colombia. And so I started watching his videos, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go back to Colombia. I really love Colombia. And so he started a WhatsApp group. And when we started the WhatsApp group, then now we have 100 people in this group that all are interested in going to Colombia, have been to Colombia, and all that. So at the time, we were talking about going to Carnival. So this was a year ago. We were talking about going to Carnival, and that was what the group was all about. And so that's when we got in there, And or when I got in there, I'm like, I wasn't even planning to go to Carnival. I wasn't planning to go to Colombia. It was in March, I think. This The last Carnival was in March. I wasn't planning on going to Colombia, but when the group was opened and I started seeing people going, you know how things go, right? You start seeing people. Oh, I booked my flight. I booked my flight, and I'm thinking, wow, I have points. I can go. Like I don't. I mean, money is not an issue, and I can get the time off from work. So the only thing that's keeping me from going is the fact that, like, oh wow, I have to go kind of by myself, but not by myself, if you know what I mean, because I'm gonna meet people up there, but I'm gonna do the trip by myself. So whatever. But I quickly got over that, and I said, I'm gonna book it. So I used my points. I booked it, and yeah, ever since then, I mean, I went, and then I went again in October and met up with a YouTuber out there that lives in Colombia. That's Colombian, Maya. Met up with her. Shout out to Afro Guajira. Check her channel out. You'll see. I did a couple of videos. If you look at any of my videos on Colombia, the last couple of videos that I put out, she's in the video. So now I have a connection out there in Colombia, and then we're going for Carnival in February, and I'll be meeting up with her. I'll be meeting up with some other guys from the WhatsApp group. So it's just, I mean, it's I don't know. Just figure out a way to do it. There are a lot of groups out there. So if you are interested in traveling to a certain country, certain city, or whatever, there's always groups out there, travel groups out there that you can reach out to and maybe get some more information and maybe find out when people are going. The first trip or the only first and only trip I took to Paris was my first. That was my first solo trip ever. Actually, no, that was my second solo trip. I went to Puerto Rico, and that was a solo trip. That was my first solo trip, and that was about 4 years ago. And I had a really good time. I'm a photographer, so I like to get out there and just take pictures. And so I can totally just be by myself because I want to go and get these pictures. So that's my focus. So it's not like I have to do a lot of excursions and have to have people around me and stuff like that. So went to Puerto Rico, had a good time. But Puerto Rico is actually what got me into points, because prior to that I wasn't using points for when I went to Puerto Rico, and I spent so much money in Puerto Rico that's when I realized there's no way that I can do this the way that I want to do it 3-4 times a year, traveling 3-4 times a year. There's no way I can do it without figuring out how to make it more affordable. And so that's when I jumped into points. And when I jumped into points, I didn't know what I was doing. And even to this day, I mean, there's certain things it's like I don't know. Like I can tell you about my my Chase Sapphire Reserve and the other cards that I have. I have about 9 cards, or eight, actually 8 cards right now. Credit cards that I use. I can tell you about those credit cards, but when it comes to some of the other credit cards that I don't have, I don't really know too much about them. Focus more on the cards that I have and how to earn points with those. But when I started getting those points and started earning those points, the first trip I took was to Paris. That was a solo trip. I had an amazing time. I was only out there for 5 days, but it was an experience of a lifetime, and I will go back sometime soon. The only thing that I didn't like about Paris is it's very expensive, very expensive. So that's something that I'm not looking forward to. That's one of the reasons I like to go to like Colombia and Costa Rica and Thailand and some of these countries where it's really really reasonable. Once you get to the country, it's cheap to eat and to do the excursions and all that stuff. Andre, what's going on, guys? Yeah, please, guys, hit the like button if you can. I know I hate doing this because you get people in the room, and then the system goes down, and so now people are like, either they're going to leave and they're not going to come back, or they might be looking for our live stream again. So please hit the like button. I will help them find it. Okay, so just hit that like button. Let's see. Andre and Andre. So I want to talk a little bit about them. So Andre, he is American. He's living in Colombia with his fiance Andrea. Andrea is Colombian, so they're living in Cali, Colombia. He's another connection that I met on the WhatsApp group. And when we met, I haven't met him in person yet. We'll be doing that in the future, sometime in the near future. Hopefully, I think he's going to Carnival. I'm not for sure, but he did talk about it in the past. But yeah, met these guys in the WhatsApp group, and really it's motivated me to be like, hey, let's I can go at any time. I can go to Colombia at any time, and I know that there's people out there that are either traveling out there or that live out there that I can meet up with. But check out their channel, Andre and Andre. They have some really good content about Colombia. So if you're interested about, especially Cali, Colombia, jump on their channel, subscribe to the channel, check out their content. I mean, and a lot of this stuff is very informative too. So there's certain things that you need to know before you travel, period. And there's certain things that you need to know before you travel to Colombia. And so they can give you some really good insight on how to stay safe when you're out there, and things to look out for. Not that Colombia is unsafe. Colombia is safe, just like most of the countries that we travel to. But just like any country, there are certain things that you need to know, be aware of. Just like if someone was coming to the United States, there's certain things that I would tell them to be aware of, and maybe certain places that you might not want to go to because you could potentially be a victim. So yeah, really good content over there. You want to check them out. Ronald, yeah, you're right. Some cards are confusing. Yeah, so when it comes to credit cards, there's some cards that are known for certain things, and then there are some cards that are out there that are confusing, and I see this a lot, and it's frustrating to see it, because when I first started out, I didn't know about these credit cards and what's good and what's not good. And so I know if you're a beginner, especially if you're a beginner, you start seeing these credit cards and they say travel rewards and stuff like that. Not all credit cards that say travel rewards are really good travel credit cards, because they'll say travel rewards, but they don't have any travel portal. They don't have any transfer partners. That's where you really make out. That's where you really benefit from these rewards credit cards, when you can use them for travel. When I can transfer, and like I was telling you, I book with United, right? The way that I book with United is I earn my points with Chase. I do have a United Explorer card, so I've earned points with that card, but that's not my main driver. That's not the card that I use for all of my purchases. I use a Chase Sapphire Reserve. I use the Chase in Cash card. I use the World of Hyatt card. So those are the main cards that I'm using on my everyday spend. I'm earning points on that everyday spend. And what I do with those points, not the World of Hyatt, not the World of Hyatt. World of Hyatt, those points go straight to Hyatt, but I do stay at Hyatt property, so it helps me there. But with the Chase in Cash and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I take those points, I transfer them over to United. Now, not all credit cards are going to allow you to make transfers like that. And so when I transfer it over to United, then I can book directly on United. But what some of these cards will tell you, and they say travel rewards. Wells Fargo has a couple of cards that are travel rewards. I actually got one of the cards. This is way, way back when I didn't know anything about rewards credit cards. And I just heard rewards, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I can earn points. I might as well use it, right? So I got that card, and it's not a good card at all. It's not the Propel card. It's a zero annual fee whatever card, but it doesn't do anything for you. And the reason they say it's rewards for travel is some of the cards will give you a discount, so they'll give you like 25% off, or something like a 25% like they'll credit your account 25% if you use the points, or they'll just do like they'll say, go ahead and book your airfare and we will credit your account. So if you have 50,000 points in your account, then that's good enough for $500. Well, if I have 50,000, or let's just use an example that I hear. So if I have 50,000 and I want to fly economy round trip to Colombia, it's probably going to cost me, if I'm paying cash out of pocket, it's probably going to cost me more than $500, right? So if I can transfer those points, those same points that I'm talking about, from Chase over to United, book that flight for 40,000 points round trip economy, I'm going to make out better than if I have 50,000 points in a Wells Fargo account or something, and I use that as my travel. You know what I mean? Like, they give me $500 and I use that to book my flight. I'm going to make out better if I'm transferring to the transfer partners. So it does get pretty confusing, and I think people eh, everyone wants to have that travel rewards card, but they don't have them. Like, they're not all cards are created the same. So there's certain cards you want to look for. You want to look for the American Express. The American Express Green card's good. The American Express Gold card's good. American Express Platinum's good. Chase Sapphire Reserve, Chase Sapphire Preferred. I like the Chase Ink cards, Ink Cash, Ink Unlimited, Ink what is it, Ink Preferred. I like those cards, although those are business cards. The Ink cards are business cards. Even the Capital One Venture card, they now have transfer partners, so that's a pretty good setup. Now with a Venture card, they do also have like the eraser tool where you can, let's say it's something you can't book, something I can't book using points, like a helicopter ride or something like that. Well, I can use that eraser tool with the Venture card in order to book that. So just things to think about, but just understand not all cards are created equal. So you're going to get in situations where you're going to think you're getting a good card, and it's like, yeah, this card is not gonna suit your needs. So just join the WhatsApp group. That's the main thing. Join the WhatsApp group and ask us, and we'll tell you. We'll tell you, hey, you know what? This card's good. This card's not. If you want to use it for travel, maybe you should consider this card. There's so much information in the WhatsApp group, and the link is, like I said, the link's in the description, and you can check it down in the comment section too. I've tagged it in the comment section. Technor, what's going on? Let's see. What's crazy is applying for the Chase Sapphire Reserve with a credit score of 742, and I didn't get denied, but didn't get accepted. Baffling to me. So when did that happen? And did they put you to pending, or what was going on? You said you didn't get denied. So there are ways that you can go about situations like that. You can contact them, the reconsideration line, and just ask them if there's any more information that you need to provide them. Just ask them that, and usually they'll let you know if there is. But usually they're gonna either do that, or they're gonna write you a letter and send you a letter out saying the reason that they accepted you or the reason that they didn't. But it's not all about your FICO score. Your FICO score does play a role, but they also look at other things too. So, and I don't know exactly all the different factors that they look at, but they do want to know what your income is. They do want to know um, how many credit cards you have with them already. There's 524 rule. Not even with them, just 524. 524 as a whole. So any credit cards. Do you have 5 new accounts that have been opened in the last 24 months? If that's the case, then you can get declined because of that alone. So there are a lot of different things that they look at. But if they put you to pending, then there's probably something that they need from you. So I would call that reconsideration line and see where that goes. All right, guys. Any other questions? Go ahead and feel free. Like I said, I just jumped on. I wanted to jump on a little earlier, and I'm glad I did because now I'm going back. So next week we'll be back on the old set. If not, I'll use the other computer for this setup. I was just really being hard headed about this whole thing, and I wanted to use this. I say old computer. When I say old computer, the computer that I use for the other room, I'll use it in here and not use the old computer that I'm using in here right now, um, because yeah, it's just not working. It's just not working. And I apologize. I hate coming on and having stuff go wrong. And this is something that I can avoid. I've run clean live streams before with no issues. Just last month, and I was using the other computer. So I just need to go back to that and stop being so stop being so stubborn. So, all right, guys. Any other questions? Any other comments? Go ahead and feel free to put it in the chat. And please, guys, hit that like button too if you have not done so. So uh, when we do the rebroadcast, more people will see. Plus, we'll be on for a little bit longer. If you guys have any questions, then we can address those questions and promote more people in at the same time. As far as the giveaway, I do want to talk a little about giveaways. So every month, the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month, we do a giveaway, and usually it's a $50 gift card. And so the way that you join in on the way that you get in on the giveaway is basically just watching. So all you need to do is watch the live stream. Every 10 minutes, you're going to get 10 points. If you do super chats, you get a little additional points. If you uh, we've done quizzes before, so that's another thing too. Like we've done a little quiz show. I'll probably do that in the future. But we do a variety of different things where you can earn points, and you earn those points, and then you use those points to redeem to buy raffle tickets. and it's points. It's not, you're not using any cash or anything like that. You're using these points. You buy raffle tickets, and then we raffle off the $50 gift card at the end of the year, or end of the year, at the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month. All right, let's see, Brian. What are you doing? Let's see. What are you doing to do? What are you going to do when it goes dynamic awards? Oh, so he's asking what I'm doing when they're going to go dynamic. We'll see. I mean, yeah, they're devaluing a little bit because they are going dynamic. We'll have to see. We'll have to tackle that when it happens. I've had my eye on Avianca, their credit card, so that might be an option for me if I want to continue traveling to Colombia. And realistically, I don't think it'll be that bad as far as the dynamic pricing. So we'll take it as it happens. I'm not too concerned because it's always a balance. Like they'll take something and give you something else, or they're usually balancing things out. So you might even get better sign-up bonuses, maybe better earn possibility with some of the credit cards that are out. So they kind of move, in waves. I use United, but I don't have to use United. I can book directly with Avianca. I can go and get their credit card if I need to. James, what's going on, James? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. How are you doing? I've been in India for the last month. Cool. Or the last months. Okay, cool. That's good, man. So are you back from India now? Yeah, I'm almost at, yeah, he's saying I'm almost at 10,000. Yes, I'm almost at 10,000. I'm almost at 9,000. Let's start there. And hopefully we'll hit 9,000 in the next couple of days. So that'll be exciting. Um, and then it's on to 10,000. Hopefully we can hit 10,000 before I get to Colombia, or maybe even in Colombia. That would be nice to be in Colombia and celebrating 10,000 at Carnival. That would be a nice experience. So yeah, just I'm having the time of my life, man. Just putting these videos out and sharing all my stories and stuff like that with you guys. And I really and I said I did my end of the year video, or actually my New Year video, and it's really a humbling experience when you get online and you start doing this, because you this is something I never thought I would do. Let's just put it that way. I never thought I'd be online on the shooting videos. I knew how to shoot videos. I knew how to take pictures. The main reason that I got a camera is because I wanted to take pictures and I wanted to be behind the camera. And then I had stuff I wanted to share. And so all of a sudden I turned the camera on myself and I start talking, and I really enjoy this aspect as well. So I never thought I would be here, but I am here, and it's you have to let your guard down when you come on and do videos and do live streams and stuff like that, because obviously you're gonna have people that are gonna really appreciate it, and then you're gonna have some that don't, and yeah, you have to. I don't know. It's a weird experience, and I was just talking to someone a couple of days ago just about we were just talking about, like, it's different when I'm around people who are other YouTubers. And the reason I say this is because, like, I've gone to Colombia a few times now and met up with other YouTubers, and like for Carnival and for this last trip when I went to Colombia. And that's the first time I've really been around other YouTubers. Like usually it's just me and I'm hanging out with my friends. I don't usually vlog too much when I'm out here, but I will vlog and do stuff when I'm out in other countries. So it's an interesting situation when you're out, when you're with other YouTubers, because we all have cameras out. You don't feel as embarrassed when you're walking around because we're all doing the same thing, right? They know how to play off you. You know how to play off them, as far as you understand kind of what's going on. Like I've been out with my friends before, and I'm doing my little. Like, I'm talking to my friends that don't shoot videos, and I'm doing my little spiel, and they're just like looking at me like, "What is this guy doing?" Even my friend that I went to Thailand with, same thing. He's kind of like, "Yeah, whatever. What is this guy doing?" And so it's just it's different when you're around other YouTubers. So I don't even know how I got out of that story, but anyway, let's see. Oh, so James, you're still in India? Cool, man. That's cool. Wow, that's cool, man. Hope you're having a good time out there. I guess you're out there for business. I know you're in the real estate field. Let's see. Ronald saying, really great job, awesome videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to leave other states myself. Yeah, y- it's not hard, and I always recommend. Like, I don't know what your situation is as far as how your credit is and things like that, but always try to work towards getting your credit to a point where you can get credit cards. Um, but use them the right way. And I think in this was me, and now I've changed the way that I use credit cards. But I was that person that didn't know how to use credit cards, and I would think that, oh, I can use a credit card because I can pay it over time. If I want that computer, I can use my credit card and then pay it over time, and then 6 months later, a year later, I'll have it paid off. And that's the way that I use credit cards. That is the absolute wrong way to use credit cards. You only use credit cards to maximize. You use credit cards because they offer you rewards, and you pay it off. You have the money. Like, I have money for anything that I purchase. I just got this watch, this Samsung, the Active 2, um, and I use my credit card to pay it out. It's like 300. I have the $300. I have the cash, right? But I use my credit card instead of going in there using cash because I get certain perks with that, and purchase protection and things like that. So it just makes sense to use your credit card. Not be afraid to use your credit cards, but just pay them off, because if you don't pay them off every month, that's when you get into trouble. So if you can do that one thing, pay it off every month, you're going to come out on top, and you're going to have points. You're going to be able to travel and do a lot of things that you never thought was possible. Let's see. D Bizzle, what's going on, man? So TC, keep the vids coming. I will keep the vids coming. As a matter of fact, as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna go out. I have a few things to do, and then I shot a couple of videos earlier, so I'm gonna edit some videos and try to get a video out tonight. If not tonight, then it'll be tomorrow morning. Flashpoint Capital, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, Flashpoint. So Flashpoint, he's got a channel. He's got a YouTube channel. He talks about travel credit cards. He talks about credit cards in general, and how to improve your finances. So you want to check his channel out. He just hit 1,000 a couple months ago, so he's moving. He's moving up there. So you want to give him a look and subscribe to his channel. Let's see. How can an individual find work in a different country, and what do you need? It depends on where you're traveling to or where you're going to. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. For sure, I'm not an expert, but I do know that a lot of countries are open to um, people teaching English. So I can speak on Colombia. Colombia, they want people to speak. You don't even have to have like a proper education, I guess, like a bachelor's degree or anything like that. You can go to Colombia and you can teach English. And the main thing that they want is they want that English, or they want the English accent, or they don't want to have an accent when they speak English. So they want to learn how we speak English, if that makes any sense. So they don't have that accent. And so they will pay you to do that. You can get like a student visa, or like a work visa or something like that, where you can stay there for a period of time. But that's probably the most common job that I've heard of in other countries, Thailand, Colombia, some of these other countries. I would recommend going to a country where the infrastructure is there. Like Colombia, that's one of the things I love about Colombia. The infrastructure is there, which means the streets are nice. Um, the buildings are up to code. They're nice buildings. They have beautiful malls and nice restaurants, and they have top high end stuff. But the cost of everything is like 3 times less than it is in the U.S. for the same stuff. And we talk, you go to get alcohol, you're paying. I mean, well, depends on what alcohol you get. Some of the alcohol it does get a little pricey, especially if it's made in the U.S. and shipped to them. But there's a lot of stuff in Colombia that is so much cheaper than it is in the U.S. And so if you were to move out there and live out there and work, you can work for a lot less and still have the same lifestyle that you have when you have out in the U.S. Okay, let's see. Notice that as well. Thumbs up. Thanks. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any other questions? Just let me know. We'll be on for another 5 minutes, and then, like I said, we're gonna get this all squared away. The funny thing is, last year this time I was struggling with my live streams, so maybe it's just a time period. I don't know, but yeah, we'll get everything squared away and share this out with your friends and family. I really want to really this year is there are a few things that I have that I've already kind of set in stone that I'm going to really work on. That's my live streams. I want to get my live streams, get more people in the room. So if you have friends, family members, people who are interested in travel credit cards and credit cards in general, how to improve your credit, that kind of stuff, tell them about my channel. We can come over and they can ask me questions and things like that. As far as South America travel, I do a lot of South America travel. So if you're interested in that, if you've had an interest in going to Colombia, Costa Rica is Central America, but you get it. Like some of these countries down there, hit me up. Hit me up in the live stream. We'll talk about it. I do want to incorporate more travel stuff into the discussions that we have. I don't want to just talk about credit cards because I mean, our last live streams, the last tail end of the year, they were all just about credit cards. But I do want to talk a little bit more about travel too, uh, just different destinations and how to get there. I am getting over a cold, so I might sound a little different, like stuffy. I feel really stuffy right now. So let's see. Scroll up to my question. Where's your question, man? I didn't see your question, Flashpoint. Just ask me again. I didn't see it. I saw you said, "What's let's see. What's up, everyone?" Oh, my autofocus just hit, or my annual fee just hit for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Should I downgrade, upgrade, or key? You should upgrade, man. Always upgrade. No, I don't know. So he has a Chase Sapphire Preferred, and you do have to wait a year before you upgrade to the Chase Sapphire Reserve if you want to do that. It's up to you. Like Jason, it depends on if you plan to travel. Like if you're not planning any trips, then the Chase Sapphire Reserve doesn't make sense at that point. At this point, um, but would I downgrade? I don't know if I would downgrade though. I don't. I might just stay with the. I might pay that $95. Oh, see, that's tough. It's tough, but I don't know if I would downgrade. I might want to keep that Sapphire, and and then maybe in the future, if you do have plans in the future to travel, then to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve. But it's tough because, like I said, if you're not traveling, you're not gonna get much out of it as far as benefits. Although you will get that $300 travel credit, which I should have right now. It should be in my account. I'm gonna have to check. I haven't even checked, but yeah, I'll be able to use that for Carnival. Let's see. All right, guys. Any other questions? Okay. All right, Ronald. I will keep the knowledge coming, buddy. I need the reserve in my life. Scared to apply. That's D Bizzle saying that. I don't know what card you have already. It's definitely a card that's worth it for most people. If you do travel, I would say minimum 3 times per year. It makes sense. And the reason I say that is the way I calculate my to make it make sense as far as the annual fee, that $450 annual fee, $300 travel credit you're going to get off, right? You'll get that. So that's part of that annual fee that you're paying. But when I look at some of the other benefits, I really use that priority pass. I use that a lot. And so because I use the priority pass a lot, I I can I'll use the restaurant credit that's $28. So anytime I go to a airport that has restaurant credit, I'm going to use that restaurant credit. I need to eat, right? So I need to eat anyway. I use that restaurant credit. That's good value for me. And if I can do that on a trip, if I can do it twice, maybe one time on the way up, one time on the way back, if it works out that way, then that's what is that, 60, yeah, almost $60 for that. So I do that a couple of trips and I've already made up my annual fee. And so that's kind of the way I look at it. So if you're not traveling much, you're not really going to be able to benefit from using the Priority Pass and some of the other benefits that the card offers. Even things like the purchase protection, which I recently used on the laptop that I had that I broke. So when you have benefits like that and you use them, then it just makes sense to have to keep the card, or to get the card, to keep the card. Don't be afraid to sign up for the card. If you travel 3 times a year, you should be fine. Let's see. Flashpoint saying, I figured you would say that. I just want to be able to earn the bonus. I have the chasing preferred. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So downgrade and then and then wait and then get that sign up bonus. 50,000 right now. They might increase it. The only risk is the rumor that's out there. And that rumor is that they're raising that annual fee to 550 and maybe giving us a dining credit. But that's the only iffy thing. If you get it now, then you pay the 450. You don't have to worry about that annual fee until next year. But yeah, that's on a rumor, so there's really no reason to jump on a rumor, I would say. But no, that makes sense. If you have the chasing business preferred, then you have a card that will give you the transfer partners that you would need, or the travel portal. So you still have that access. So yeah, that makes sense. So I would downgrade and then wait whatever time period you need to wait, and then get the Chase Sapphire Reserve when you need it. But the whole thing is, if you're not going to use, if you're not traveling right now, I know you have a baby and you might not be traveling. So is it really worth it to get it right now? Probably not. Julio, what's going on, buddy? Let's see. D Bizzle, I missed this question here. He said I'd be traveling a lot in a few months. That's why I need it. Yeah, if you're going to be traveling a lot, get that card. Um, and Julio's also saying American Express. I would, if you're going to travel a lot, the Amex Platinum I think is a good card to consider. Okay, D Bizzle, American Express is not accepted everywhere though. Yeah, it's not. It's accept major cities. You're going to find American Express being accepted, but it's not accepted as much as Visa. So, but you're looking at, if you're traveling a lot, you're getting 5 points for every dollar spent on airlines with the American Express Platinum, booking on airlines, and you have the travel credits that they offer. If you stay in hotels, you can get gold status with American Express Platinum at Hilton and Marriott. So you do get some benefits that you're not going to get with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that's something to consider as well. And then you get the Centurion Lounge, which I think is nice, and then you get Priority Pass Lounge still. You just don't get that restaurant credit, which is that bothers me that they took that away from the American Express lineup of premium cards. But it is what it is. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? We're gonna go ahead and sign out. I thank you guys all for stopping by. And like I said, I didn't plan for anything this time, but I'm gonna start really setting up my show a lot better, uh, where I give you guys notice and really promote the show out. If I don't promote it, usually it's a little harder to get people in the room. And then if you have issues, then it's hard to get people to come back because they're like, "What's going on with this guy? He doesn't know how to put a live stream on." Yes, Flashpoint. Anytime you're ready, man. Anytime you're ready. I was giving you your space, buddy, but yeah, I definitely want to start doing some live streams again. If you don't know, this is Jason, Flashpoint Capital. We were doing a live stream together, our little Flash and Tech show. So hopefully we can start doing those again, not as frequently. And we when I was really excited about live streams, and you guys know this. Last year, I was like on doing like 3 live streams a week, and it was just crazy. And I enjoyed it, and it was good because it gave me everything that I needed as far as like how to get everything set up and how to have you see the little scroll and the graphics and all that, and how to do the whole set and all that. So it really got me where I needed to be as far as the quality of the live stream that I was putting out. I can't always speak for some of the things that go wrong with the live streams as far as the technology, but I knew what I was doing. You know, I had it going, and then and I was all on Jason. Hey, we do a live stream every week. You know, every Monday, and so we were doing the live streams, but we didn't really think, or I didn't really think like, well, dang, I can't do a live stream every Monday and every Saturday and sometimes Sunday. Like it's just too much. And when are we gonna like even shows like regular shows they have a hiatus and they have time off. Like we didn't plan for any of that. So I think we just both burned out. And so yeah, we'll do it in moderation in the future. I think it'll work out a lot better. But yeah, man, definitely, Jason, definitely, I want to start doing some shows again, bringing on some guests and stuff like that. I think it'd be great. Let's see, D Bizzle. I would think it would be easier to get approved for the reserve versus the platinum. Actually, the platinum is an easier card to get approved for, believe it or not. Chases, they're funny. I mean, you like just the mere fact they have the 524 and all that. The American Express Platinum is an easier card to get, in my opinion, than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. They just for whatever reason, the Chase Sapphire Reserve they're stricter on their stuff. So, but I wouldn't just go for a card because it's easier. I would look at the value that you're going to get out of that card, and they're both great cards. I will say that if you're traveling a lot, especially if you're traveling for work and stuff like that, the platinum card is probably a better card because for you because it just gives you more access when it comes to lounges. Um, So that's just something to think about. Now, I personally love the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I don't travel like a lot. 3 times per year, 4 times per year is not a lot, but I find value in that card. I like that card, and it's a good card. The main reason I like the card is it's a good everyday card. Like I use that card all the time. Whereas the American Express Platinum, you're not going to use it all the time. When you're not traveling, you're probably not going to use a card that much because a lot of those categories you're only going to get 1 point for every dollar spent. So who's going to use a card and only get 1 point for every dollar spent? So that's why I like the Chase Sapphire Reserve because it's a balance of the two. It gives you some premium stuff, like you do get lounge access, you do get a nice travel credit, but it also gives you the everyday stuff. Like I can go to a restaurant and get 3 points for every dollar spent. So that's what I like about that the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that's why for me the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a better card because it's a card that I'm going to have in my wallet for a long time because I can earn good points with the card. So that's the way I look at it. The American Express Platinum is one of those cards that I would get for a business. Like I just working on my business, getting that all set up. I'll get a American Express Platinum for my business because if it doesn't go the way that I want it to, and I'm not traveling as much as I want, and the annual fee's getting to me, even though the annual fee would be a write off at that point, I might consider canceling the card. But the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I think, yeah, it's for me, it's a better card. Okay, let's see. D Bizzle saying, "Wow, really? Let's see. I don't have any chase cards. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, and another thing too, you might want to consider is if you're really apprehensive. I think you're the one that's saying you're afraid to apply for it, but um, or whoever said that they were nervous about applying for the card. If you're really nervous, why don't start a relationship with Chase? So open up a checking account or something, and then once you start that relationship, then you're going to start getting information from them. You can start asking them directly, like, hey, you know what? I'm interested in getting a travel credit card. Which one would you recommend? Or which one can I get pre-approved for? That kind of stuff. And they might tell you, oh, well, Chase Sapphire prefer you can get approved for. They might say Chase Freedom. You know, they might say whatever, but at least it'll give you an idea of where you are when it comes to Chase. And if you do have a relationship with them, I do think it's easier for you to get some of those premium cards, because I say some of them, they only have one, but it might be easier for you to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve if you already have a relationship with them. Let's see what you said. You don't get the food credit for the platinum. The platinum, yeah, you don't get the food credit, DBizzle, for the with Priority Pass. You don't get the food credit. Not with the platinum. They just took that away last year. So if I said that, I misspoke. If I said that you do get the credit, I misspoke. The Chase Sapphire Reserve, yes, Priority Pass, you do get the credit. I might have confused you when I said PF Chase is no longer allowing you to use the food credit but that's just that restaurant, not all of the restaurants with the Priority Pass. Let's see. Platinum is the easiest to get approved for DBizzle, in my opinion. All right, that's Flashpoint saying that. I think it's all. Let's see. That may be a deal breaker if you can get access to the lounges, but not the credit. Yeah, you get access to Centurion lounges though, and they have food there, so that's an option. So, and then the Delta lounges, you get access to them if you're flying on Delta. So you do have some other options, but I wouldn't. I personally like that food credit because I know that I can use it. It depends on what airport you go to. Not all airports have restaurants that are part of Priority Pass or that are partnered with Priority Pass. So you might fly to an airport and you don't have that credit anyway. So or you can't even use that credit. So just I wouldn't say in my mind, I wouldn't look at it as a deal breaker. I just look at it as one of those things where you're going to have to try to work around it. And when I, believe it or not, when I book my flights and stuff like that, one of the things that I'm looking at is where I'm flying to, what airport I'm flying to. If I have a layover, usually when you use points, and you guys will know this if you use points, you're going to have a layover somewhere. You're not going to get those direct flights. Usually it's just not, it doesn't work that way. Even if you're flying to like Hawaii, like I wanted to fly to Honolulu, and instead of flying straight shot to Honolulu, I had to fly to the Big Island, Kona or whatever. I always get confused with the islands, but I had to fly to another island first, and then from that island fly over to Honolulu. So usually, yeah, you don't get a direct shot when you're using points. So I always look to see, okay, well, what Priority Pass lounges are there? Do they have restaurants that offer food credits? So yeah, you just kind of have to plan it out. Let's see. Flashpoint say Amex shut off the food credit. Yes, the Amex. The 1 year old. No. All right. Oh, and Flashpoint, yeah. So 10,000 minimum. Yeah, so you need a 10,000. If you want to get the reserve, they're gonna only approve you for a credit limit of 10,000 or more. So you do need to meet that. And then yeah, I would say 720 is pretty fair. 720 and up when it comes to credit, your FICO score. All right, guys. Any other questions? We'll be on for 2 more minutes, and then we're going to take off. Please, if you guys are in here and you have not hit that like button, please hit it for us so we can promote this out to some more people once we stop here. And yeah, like I said, we're going to really start working working in 2020 to get the live streams up there. So that's going to be my goal. And bring on guests. I want to bring on some more people when it comes to talking about travel credit cards and stuff. All right, DBizzle, let's see. Yeah, we'll check both again. But I think as for now, the reserve will be better for me. Yeah, and it's DBizzle. When it comes down to it, and this is for everybody, when it comes down to it, just get the cards that work for you. There's too much argument out there in the community about, oh, this card's the best, and this card's better, and this card is not good. But when it comes down to it, get the cards that work for you, and there might be cards that not everyone gets, but there might be certain things that you know that you can use that other people might not be able to use. You might have a business, and that business requires you to buy a lot of stuff from office supply stores. So there's certain credit cards that are out there that give you 5 points for every dollar spent in office supply stores. So that card makes sense to you, whereas someone else, it might not make sense because they can't maximize that. So that's what it comes down to. Chase Sapphire Reserve is an excellent card. The American Express Platinum is a great card. The American Express Gold is a great card. There are great cards out there, but it just depends on what your needs are. So that's what you have to focus on. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take off, and I appreciate all you guys stopping by. And like I said, we're gonna work on these issues. Well, I already know what the issue is. It's the computer, so I'm just gonna switch over and use the other computer from now on, and we won't have those issues anymore. But I wanted to give it one last shot, and it just didn't work, so it didn't work. So we'll be back on next Sunday. So next Sunday, and time to be determined. I will put that out and let you guys know the time. Like I said, I'm going to start kind of changing the times around just a little bit, just to see where I get the best response, and then from there, then I will I'll set on a time, because the thing is, it's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when I'm usually doing the live streams on Sunday. That is pretty late for most people. On the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock. I get it. Sunday, you're getting ready to go to work the next day. So I do want to make some adjustments when it comes to time. So we're going to work on that. But anyway, thank you guys all for stopping by. We got a few more comments here. Let me just look at them real quick. Let's see. I'll check both again. Let's see. There double points or anything on the platinum, food, gas, travel, etc. No, you're getting 5 points. So he's just D-Biz was asking about the American Express Platinum as far as other double points. So for travel. So if you're booking directly with the airline, you're going to get 5 points for every dollar spent. If you go on Amex Travels, you're going to get 5 points for every dollar spent. But that's where it stops. So all of your purchases, the vast majority of your purchases, if you're not traveling, so the vast majority of your purchases are going to be 1 point for a dollar spent. So it's not one of those cards that you get for that. And what I always recommend, if you're interested in getting the American Express Platinum, get the American Express Gold as well. So get both those cards, because the American Express Gold, now that card will give you some quality stuff where you're going to get 4 points for every dollar spent at grocery stores, and then 4 points at restaurants worldwide. So that's good. That's a good fit. Those two cards together make a really good combo. I would say the best combo that's out there right now. They have the best combo that's out there right now. But yeah, you just have to. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why when people say, "Well, I'm just going to get the American Express Platinum," well, if you just get the American Express Platinum, you're going to miss out on a lot of points. So you want to be able to diversify that portfolio in order to make that work. Okay, recently grabbed the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Chase Ink Preferred, along with the Freedom. Might look into Chase Hotel cards. Yeah, get that World of High card, man. Or airline card. Otherwise, I think I'm good to go. Yeah, I mean, you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you have the Chasing Business Preferred, which you don't even really need the Chasing Business Preferred, but it had a nice sign-up bonus, 80,000. So it's not a bad card to get. Chase Freedom card, definitely a good card. I would look, just me, if you already have the Chasing Business Preferred, I would look at the Chasing Cash card. That is an amazing card. I value that card more than the Chasing Preferred, just because of the office supply stores. You can go there and get 5 points for every dollar spent, and it has a pretty good sign up bonus, 50,000 sign up bonus, zero annual fee card. Like that's all of 2019. That card impressed me the most out of all the cards that were out there, and that card had been out there. Like it's not like they refreshed it or anything, but that card impressed me more than any of the other cards that I got. And I only got two cards, but any other cards that were out there, that impressed me the most. That was one of those cards. I didn't plan on getting that card, and I saw it in a Facebook group, in our Facebook group, the Travel Explore Click Facebook group. Someone just got the card, and I'm like, oh, I've never even. What is this card? So I looked it up. I already had the Chase Ink. I have the Chase Ink at the time. I had the Chase Ink Business Plus card, and I had the Chase Ink Unlimited card. So I had those two cards already. And so I thought I had all the ink cards. I didn't realize that they had a cash card. And so when I saw that card, I'm like, Well, that was the one time where I looked at it, and like 2 days later, I got the card because it's like, wow, I have to get this card. 50,000 sign up bonus, zero annual fee, and you get the 5 points for every dollar spent at office supply stores. It was a no brainer. Let's see, Julio, 5 times points on airfare purchases directly from airline, 5 times points at hotels purchased through Amex Travel. Yeah. So that's how you maximize your points with American Express Platinum. But it's not one of those cards you can use and just earn points at like restaurants, and yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. You have to get the gold card to complement it. Let's see, a true only got it for the 80,000 sign up bonus. Yeah, I think a lot of people were doing that, getting that Ink preferred card for that 80,000 sign up bonus. Good sign up bonus. The card is okay. The older version, the one that I have, I think is better because it does give you 5 points for every dollar spent at office supply stores. So it's just like the Ink Cash card. So it's better in that aspect. But that 80,000 sign up bonus is very impressive. All right, guys, we're gonna have to take off, and I will talk to you guys next Sunday. Take care. Have a good weekend.